Italy. Few countries in the world stir the imagination quite like this one. Italia is not just a place on the map, it's a living museum, a stage for history, and a kitchen for the planet. To speak of Italy is to speak of contrasts, snowy alpine peaks and sun-drenched islands, bustling fashion capitals and sleepy medieval villages, ancient ruins crumbling beside modern skyscrapers. And above all, it's about people, passionate, expressive, fiercely regional, yet united under the tricolor flag. But let's clear something up first, there is no such thing as a typical Italian. A Sicilian fisherman from Catania might barely understand a Venetian shopkeeper, and a banker from Milan could feel like an alien walking through Naples. South Tyroleans in the north speak German, Aosta Valley leans French, and Sardinians have an identity all their own. Italy is like a mosaic, each piece different, but together forming a masterpiece. Now, I like to joke that my surname comes from an old Italian word for bearded man. So somewhere in the mist of time, my ancestors were probably either warriors, philosophers, or grain sellers. But hey, if my barley kept a Roman soldier alive long enough to defeat Hannibal, then technically I saved Rome. Geography, the boot and its secrets. Italy, famously shaped like a boot kicking a soccer ball, sits right in the middle of the Mediterranean. It shares borders with France, Switzerland, Austria, and Slovenia. But it also holds two tiny independent states entirely inside its territory, San Marino, one of the world's oldest republics, and Vatican City, the smallest country in the world and the spiritual center of Catholicism. With these, Italy has the most enclaved states of any country. Italy itself is divided into 20 regions, each with its own strong identity. 5 of them, Sardinia, Sicily, Trentino Alto Adige/South Tyrol, Aosta Valley, and Friuli Venezia Giulia, have special autonomous status, often for historical or linguistic reasons. The capital is Rome, a city of nearly 3 million people, but Milan is the beating financial heart, and Naples remains the fiery cultural soul of the south. Beyond the boot, Italy owns over 350 islands, some small and quiet, others buzzing with life, like Capri and Elba. One peculiar spot is Campione d'Italia, a tiny Italian enclave inside Switzerland with tax exemptions and Italy's largest casino. But Italy isn't just about land. The surrounding seas, Adriatic, Ionian, Tyrrhenian, and Ligurian, have always been lifelines for trade, exploration, and conquest. From ancient Roman fleets to modern cruise ships, Italy has always owned the water. Mountains, volcanoes, and valleys. Italy lies at the collision of the Eurasian and African tectonic plates. That's why it has the Alps in the north and the Apennines running like a spine through the peninsula. The Alps not only provide natural defense but also supply water to the fertile Po Valley, Italy's agricultural powerhouse. The Po River itself stretches 650 kilometers, cutting across the north and ending in Venice, one of the most unique cities on Earth. But with beauty comes danger. Italy is one of the most volcanic countries in the world, with around 30 volcanoes. 3 are active: Mount Etna in Sicily, Europe's highest volcano, Stromboli, nicknamed the lighthouse of the Mediterranean because it erupts so often, and Mount Vesuvius near Naples, infamous for destroying Pompeii and Herculaneum in 79 AD. Millions still live near Vesuvius, choosing fertile soil and unbeatable pizza over safety. Nature also blesses Italy with stunning diversity: the Dolomites with their jagged peaks, Tuscany's rolling vineyards, Sardinia's white beaches, Sicily's rugged cliffs, and the serene lakes of Lombardy, Como, Garda, and Maggiore, beloved by celebrities and travelers alike. Climate and wildlife. Italy enjoys a predominantly Mediterranean climate, hot, dry summers and mild, wet winters, though the North Sea's snow. This climate makes it a paradise for farming. About a quarter of Italy's land is arable, producing olives, grapes, wheat, tomatoes, and more. Italy is also Europe's biodiversity champion. Over 57,000 animal species live here, making up about a third of all European fauna. Many are unique to Italy, like the Italian wolf, the national animal, the Sardinian red deer, the Marsican brown bear, and the Italian cave salamander. In the seas, dolphins, monk seals, and loggerhead turtles swim along the coasts. Cuisine, more than just pasta and pizza. Food is Italy's global gift, but it's far more than pizza and pasta. Every region has its own specialties. North, creamy risottos, polenta, gnocchi, white truffles, and Austrian-influenced dishes like dumplings and strudel in South Tyrol. Center, Tuscany's wines, Florence's bistecca alla fiorentina, giant steak, Roman pasta classics like carbonara and amatriciana, and Umbrian truffles. South, tomatoes, olives, spicy peppers, and of course pizza, with Naples recognized by UNESCO as the birthplace of the real thing. Islands, Sicily with its cannoli, arancini, and couscous, influenced by North Africa, and Sardinia with unique dishes like sidas, cheese-filled pastries drizzled in honey. Italy produces more wine than any other country in the world, from Chianti to Barolo to Prosecco, and claims more than 600 pasta variations. Economy and culture. Italy ranks as one of the world's largest economies. Its industries range from heavy machinery to luxury goods. Think of Fiat, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati, Ducati, and Pirelli in the automotive sector, Armani, Prada, Gucci, Versace, and Dolce & Gabbana in fashion, Lavazza and Illy in coffee, Nutella and Ferrero Rocher in sweets. Italians export not just products but lifestyles, elegance, quality, and style. Despite challenges like bureaucracy and youth unemployment, Italians maintain a sense of class and resilience. Looking polished isn't vanity here, it's cultural pride. People and society. Italy has around 61 million people, making it the third most populous EU country. While 92% identify as Italian, there's immense diversity. Waves of migration brought communities from Romania, North Africa, Albania, China, Ukraine, and beyond. The North versus South divide is legendary. Northerners are stereotyped as efficient, industrious, and a bit cold, while Southerners are seen as warm, hospitable, but less disciplined. Jokes fly both ways, but at the end of the day, both sides share the same love for food, family, and football. Italians are famously expressive, with hand gestures almost forming a second language. This comes from centuries of dialect diversity. When words failed, hands filled the gap. Today, whether it's bellissimo, or what on earth are you saying, the hands always talk. History in a flash. Italy's timeline is epic. Etruscans and Greeks laid early foundations. Rome rose, conquered, and spread its laws, language, and roads across Europe, Africa, and Asia. After Rome fell, Italy fractured into kingdoms, duchies, and republics like Venice, Florence, and Genoa. The Renaissance exploded here, birthing geniuses like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Galileo. Later came foreign invasions, Napoleon, and the unification in the 19th century led by Garibaldi and Cavour. Millions emigrated in the late 1800s and early 1900s, forming Italian communities in the US, Argentina, Brazil, Canada, and beyond. The 20th century brought fascism under Mussolini, World War II, and a fierce resistance movement. Post-war Italy rebuilt rapidly, becoming a founding member of the EU. Today, Italy is a democratic republic, vibrant, sometimes chaotic, but endlessly influential. Faith and festivals. About 88% of Italians identify as Catholic, though only about a third actively practice weekly. Regardless of religiosity, Catholic traditions shape much of the culture. Every town, no matter how small, has its own patron saint, celebrated with processions, fireworks, and feasts. Italy also loves its quirky festivals. The Snake Festival in Caccolo, where live snakes are draped over a statue of Saint Dominic. Calcio Storico in Florence, an ancient, violent football game played in traditional costumes. The Opera dei Pupi in Sicily, marionette shows that dramatize epic tales. Global connections. Italy's relationships are full of drama and charm. France is both rival and partner, competing in art, cuisine, and fashion, yet cooperating deeply. Argentina is like Italy's daughter, home to millions of Italian descendants. Malta and San Marino are little siblings. The Vatican is both neighbor and eternal power player. But ask any Italian about their best friends, and two names always surface: Greece and Spain. Together, these three form the Mediterranean trio, bound by sea, history, and culture. One face, one race, as the saying goes. Famous Italians. Italy's roster of great minds and artists is unmatched: Cicero, Dante, Machiavelli, Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Caravaggio, Galileo, Garibaldi, Verdi, Fellini, Pavarotti, Bocelli, Sophia Loren, Valentino Rossi. And in the modern world, countless Italian-Americans and Italo-descendants shaped global culture: Sinatra, De Niro, Pacino, DiCaprio, Tarantino, Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande. In conclusion, Italy is not just a country. It's a stage where history, art, food, faith, and style perform together. It's chaotic and refined, ancient and modern, fierce and welcoming. To know Italy is to feel life amplified, louder, tastier, more passionate. And me? I'll keep holding on to the dream that my barley-selling ancestors somehow fed the soldier who brought down Hannibal. Which means, of course, I saved the ancient world. So, you're welcome.